Hello, guys. Thank you for joining us today with another special episode. This episode is Barracks Bunnies. Very, very juicy topic.
I'm Agent M.
I'm Shy. We are SNAFU. Let's dive in.
All right.
So, the topic, well, what a Barracks Bunny is, I guess we got to definitely say that first.
Yeah.
It's a whore, basically. You could break it down any other word.
It's Navy slang.
Yeah, Navy slang. We just want to make sure you're not making up new shit to put on people. It's a Navy term. You know, girls going around getting some ass. You know, a little bit.
I mean, it can also be males too, but it's typically somebody that, you know, in the barracks, so where we live on base. It's somebody who basically jumps from person to person, sleeping with somebody within the barracks. They can also be jumping from relationship to relationship, but it's typically just hookups.
Yep. So, or have a relationship, but still be jumping from person to person somehow.
Yeah. Fun fact, I actually dated a Barracks Bunny.
Okay, so you gotta.
It's funny because there's this girl when I was in schooling for to become a GM, and everybody warned me about her. She's a Barracks Bunny, you know, blah 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 blah. And I pushed off dating her for the longest time until I kind of was just like, you know what, fuck it. Like, I just had this feeling like there was something a little bit more to her, and I was like, you know what, let's try it out. Bad decision, bad move, got cheated on pretty badly. Yeah, it was a pretty bad situation. But
well, like, dating in the Navy in general is like, it's just hard to date in the Navy, period, like, at all. Even if like the person's in the Navy with you, like, just our lifestyle is hectic, and like people will isolate themselves. So like I guess like before, like, you run into Barracks Bunnies, like, you try to find that, I guess, relationship vibe, and it'll work out for some people, but for me personally, and I'm so sorry you went through that. For me personally,
a learning experience, live and learn.
For me, like, I tried dating in the Navy is too hard. Navy women, for my experience, are aggressive. Like, if they call your phone, they wanted you to answer before they thought to call you somehow. That's the energy they come with. I don't know how that's even possible.
It's not always the case. Sometimes, well, majority of the time that is the case. It really just depends, I guess, on where you are. Because I feel like based off of where you're stationed, it kind of varies on the person, just because East Coast versus West Coast sailors, like, being stationed there, are two totally different vibes. Like, the environment and the way things are is just different.
Facts. And this is coming from me. This is a new one. Don't try to use my shit without quoting me. If she's on a carrier, don't marry her, buddy. Move on. Okay? So, like, each ship matters because of the amount of individuals on the goddamn boat. So
it's crazy too that you bring that up, because a lot of people on aircraft carriers typically hook up with other people while they're on deployment, because the ship is so fucking big.
It's a little island.
Yeah, it just, people will wild out. Like, there's a story that one of the chiefs that I worked with told me that he was on deployment on an aircraft carrier, and they had Marines on board. And this Marine, he was like a E5, which is his rank, E5 or E6. And there's this female seaman, and which a seaman is an E3, and they got caught. Everybody was out on the smoke deck, which is like an area where people can go smoke, vape, whatever. And they were behind this curtain on the smoke deck, and they were fucking, and a bunch of people, including the CO, was out there. And they, all of a sudden, like, there's a bit of a lull in the conversation, and they heard moaning, and one of the guys went behind to check behind the curtain, and it was this E6 fucking this E3. And they got caught, and the CO ended up catching them, and it was like this whole fucking thing.
It is, and depending on how attractive they were, the person that caught them might have stayed a little longer than necessary.
Dude, they were like, hey, yo, stop. And the dude was like, you know what? I'm already caught, so I'm just going to keep going. And he kept going in front of everybody. and they ended up having to get the police, the master at arms, to break them apart. And the dude got sent off the ship, and then the female got kicked out of the Navy.
Damn.
Yeah.
And she was the one taking the pounding.
Yeah.
God bless. That is so. Like, if you're thinking of a military lifestyle, like Navy wise, I don't know how everybody else gets down, but when we deploy, a carrier is on the water like 60 days at a time, sometimes even longer, because they don't have to pull in.
I think the longest I've heard a carrier being underway without pulling into port is, I want to say, close to 170 days.
Well, the COVID deployments too was long as shit. So like those boats, those people become your community at that point. Like, it's not like your new neighbors, like your new mailman, for example. All those people on the boat are all you know. The smaller the boat, the better it is in terms of expecting your partner to stay loyal from sleeping with Navy personnel. But like, we port a lot.
Here's the thing. I don't want to create a bad image for all military.
Because we don't all do that.
It's not everybody, but there definitely are scenarios where there's some fucking wild ass stories of people like hooking up. I have another story. When we're in boot camp, we go through a 2-day fraternization class. And I remember one of the instructors told us about a story of how there's this man who is married and a female who is married, right? And they ended up getting into a relationship on the ship. They got caught. The CO caught them, which adultery is against the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So it is illegal for us to have adultery. And depending on the severity of it, it kind of varies on how the CO wants to play things out. But in this case, the CO, which is the commanding officer, the captain of the ship, said, pulled both of them in, had them call their spouses and tell them that they were cheating. And then in front of the CO. And then when they got back, both of them ended up getting divorced. Then those two that were caught fraternizing got married. And then the spouses that were cheated on ended up getting married too. And now it's like the four of them, because they also had kids. Now they all four parent together and shit like that.
A silver lining.
Yeah.
Even still, I would have murdered everyone in this situation. Like, that's crazy. There's no way you're gonna cheat on me.
And that's like he said. Like, it's case by case. Yeah, it's not everybody, because there are a lot of people in the military that are like, no, like, I don't cheat. I'm not gonna do that. And we've worked with people that were married on deployment and they didn't cheat. But there definitely are a lot of people that do end up cheating. Do I agree with it? No. Do I support it? No. But it does happen. So just be careful about that, because, you know, a lot of military, like, a lot of us end up dating mil to mil or marrying mil to mil, which is military to military. And, you know, I tried that. He's tried that, at least dating military to military, and it's not worth it, you know, because you're then creating less of a work-life separation. So dating a civilian is a lot better, but it's hard to find civilians to date purely because they either want to use us for our benefits, or they just don't want to date somebody in the military because they don't want to do long distance, which is fair. But like, don't get into a relationship with somebody if you know they're military and you don't want to do long distance, because that shit fucks with us.
Yes.
Like, that shit fucked with me. I had it happen to me once.
Especially when you're about to leave on deployment, and then now all of a sudden there's a random argument, but I'm about to leave for 9 months. What are you doing? What you're gonna do this now? Our mental health and ability to focus is incredibly important underway for everyone. So like, having a major thorn in our side, you're low key shitting on the whole entire shit. You're putting everybody at risk, because one person fucks up, people die in real scenarios. If we're just chilling, okay, but would you want to be that person? Lock in, love God.
And I also understand the side of it. Not everybody in the military is emotionally mature, because a lot of them come in straight out of high school.
Yeah.
And there's 30, 40, 50-year-olds that I know that act, or at least try and act like they're fucking 18, 20-year-olds. Yeah. And that's not the case. And then the 18 and 20-year-olds are a million times more mature than the 30, 40, 50-year-olds. And
It's
it's not always the case, but I've experienced
that
it a lot.
emotional maturity is going to be rare to find.
Yeah.
Like, I won't answer for all branches. So when we talk, if we just say military sometimes, no, we're only in the Navy. Even though we're around Marines, we can lightly speak about them, but like we're not going like every time we're speaking is from a Navy standpoint. So like that emotional maturity over here is not, it's hard to find.
Yeah.
Like people, start hooking up with the same women, getting jealous, pretending they're players, and they're not. Some dudes will let you sleep, with their girl. Cuck vibes. Right in the room, chilling while you.
I got another crazy story with cucks.
There
Cucks in the Navy. So the girl that I said that I dated, there was a Barracks Bunny. She had a gay best friend. This gay best friend watched her fuck another dude. A cuck. A gay cuck.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd hear one, never thought I'd see one in terms of like the straight, like a gay man watching a straight intercourse like that. Yeah, it happened, and they were proud to say that. Yeah, no, when I found that out, that gave me major ick. Could not do that. That was disgusting.
Low key, because who's ever going to tell the true story? Like if a gay dude's sitting in that room and the dude's cool with him being there, he might have got involved a little bit. Who know? We don't know.
But a cuck either way.
Yeah, that. And what I don't understand his benefit. That was a weird. I don't know, but some people just want to pull off a fantasy, I guess. They probably should have took that to the grave, though.
Yeah.
But
that's not something I would advertise.
Like other than that, like I guess cucks wise, let me see. I got a few, but some of these stories are direct. You know who you are. You out here wilding out. You don't need to be sitting in no room. Okay, your wife getting her cheeks destroyed. Okay, glued all the Krispy Kreme donut situation. You out here, okay, she went in there plain, came out glazed. Buddy, to tell me something like that, and I don't know you, okay? I just work in the gi dunk temporarily. Don't come in there saying, yeah, me and my girl are doing good. Because you wanted a threesome, so she wanted a male, you wanted the female. You went wrong. Because then when you couldn't, stand to the occasion naked, you had to sit in that chair. And you said that to me. I know you cried. You said you didn't. You was cool. 100% everybody's crying in that situation. I probably would have just left. I probably would have told her.
I would have just walked out.
Like and you sat there. You knew the time frame and everything. So this affected you mentally, and I think in a bad way.
Would you ever have a threesome with another guy and then a female, or does it have to be two females?
Well, I just hope I wouldn't be hit with that like choice. It'd just be like, babe, I got a girl for us. It's a vibe. If I'm smashing something and a dude just walked in and I was leaving, like, oh, you're good. You caught out. No, not for me. I don't. That's a sticky situation. So much grunting is going on. Ugh. You good over there? They're like, yo, chill out. Don't dudes staring at each other. I don't know. Actually, what about for you? Because that's like a different, like, what if you was with a girl?
No, I would never.
And she was like, can we bring a guy?
No, never. I would never want a guy in that situation.
Agent
Purely because I am lesbian through and through. Gold star lesbian. No. Okay. Will not fucking do that. It has to be two women.
Wait, so quick devil's advocate. So I'll give you two people. You got, what do they call them? Oh, they were saying it. You got a lady boy, okay? And then you got, no. You got a lesbian that's super butch, or like a feminine male, like he almost looks like a woman. And you got to choose one of them for the threesome. You could say no to both, but like those are your options.
I'd say no to both.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't know what it is, but it gives me the ick. I might be open to like a female that's a little bit of mix of like masculine and feminine, but no.
Well, what if for the threesome she agrees to bring in another pretty girl, but both of those girls are like, we want to drive, and they got like,
No.
I'm just talking about a strap on that angels would fear.
The angels would fear.
And you have to deal with that. They're like only 30 seconds.
No.
Good.
That's like you somebody
No.
bringing up, hey, would you take it in the ass?
You right. And guess what? I was propositioned with that twice by those 2 lesbian girls I was dating. Jay and yo, never.
That was your first mistake dating 2 lesbian girls.
I thought they would. Everything was cool at first, then I started talking weird. Going, you're really pretty. I don't like that. Okay, if you see this, I'm disappointed in you still, and one of you keyed my car, so don't fuck.
You just want to get down and dirty.
We did though, but not with a strap on ever.
Okay.
Okay, you're right. We got to lock back in.
All right. Pivotal question, super important. Ass or tits?
Dude, always ass. I mean, unless titties is crazy. No, always ass, dude. I can't, like, you know how a person can have butthole butt? Like, this is gonna sound crazy. Like, it's like their ass is so small and concave. Like, if they were to pull down their pants, you would see straight butthole, like a dog with no tail.
Okay, yeah.
I need that. Like, I need it Thanksgiving.
You need
there.
the juice.
I need that Arby's. We got the meats. I want it going crazy. Like, you know the vibes. Like, if you hit you know like when you hit some, you want that. You want to hear that clap. You want to be like, oh shit, it's an orchestra in here. Like, you want a real. Like, what about you?
See, it's hard because I feel like every woman that I've been with has had both.
Which is great. Like, I typically don't mind mine, but like if I'm forced to pick. So look, you got to think about it. When you, like, tits is like when you smashing like missionary or something, picking something up, yeah, looking, but like doggy style like worldwide, if you had to rank sex positions, doggy style probably is always going to be number 1. Yes, missionary is great if you like the person a lot. I'm talking about you running through something, like you're the Hulk smashing right now. You're not Thor.
I mean, I guess that's fair. I just feel like the people that I've been with have always said missionary is one of the most underrated positions.
Agreed.
And I agree with that. And I feel like either missionary or from the side is probably one of my favorites.
Oh, the side, that's something there. Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, you gotta have both. Like, if it's not, here's my thing. If you have some tit and majority ass, okay, that's fine. If it's the other way around, that's fine too. I'm not super, super picky, but I mean, like, if you got a bony ass,
like, hit the gym a little bit.
do some squats.
Like, it doesn't got to be massive. Like, just care about your own body and don't throw the insecurities on the person you're about to sleep with. That's not fair to them.
All jokes aside, though, genuinely, I feel like, okay, yes, sexual attraction is very important.
That's key. Like,
that is key.
We're not
like,
porn stars here.
If the sex is not good, it's not there. Like, sexual attraction is a very key part in a relationship. And, it's very important to be able to not only be able to discuss, what you want.
Yeah.
Because right off the bat, nobody's going to know exactly what somebody wants, especially when it's your first time together, if you're starting a relationship, whatever. So having those open conversations about, hey, like, these are things that I like, these are things that I want.
Yes.
Figuring out what works for the two of you and y'all's chemistry, that is key. If you can figure that out, great. Because there are some things you can teach, and then there are other things you can't teach. And the things you can't teach is kind of just like, I don't think I want to be a part of this anymore.
That's a fact. So go in there, lock in, send a text message, something. Don't go in with no game plan. The next thing you know, you chilling, someone's pissing on your face. That's your own fault because you did not discuss.
Fucking golden showers.
Like, get golden showered, then you're mad. Like, you gotta, next thing you know, a dude wants his ass ate. Like, miss, you should have spoken to him before, because now you down there giving a blowjob, you going crazy, and he's like, eat my butt. What do you do?
Would you eat someone's ass?
I would never do that.
Yeah, there it is, right there, y'all. Yeah, that's a tricky situation. I feel like to navigate, depending on the person.
It's definitely case by case with that shit.
Yeah.
You do not just you gonna catch pink eye that way. If you go down there, smell something weird, fellas, you don't keep diving.
Kind of like Crazy Rap, walk past the fish market.
Yep. Yeah, you don't keep diving if your oxygen tank has a hole in it. You swim up. Okay, get repaired. If you going down and you're like, oh my God. Actually, even ladies, you go down there, oh my God. Get up out of there. Okay.
Yeah.
Especially if it's planned sex. Like if it's he or she had all day to plan to come see you, and then there's an odor, that needs to be discussed. Okay? There could be a bacteria. Or they just don't care. Or one of their kinks is odor.
Oh my gosh, that shit is nasty. I've known people that was a kink, and I was like, nah. I walked away immediately. I was like, fuck that. Can't do that. Hygiene, super important for me, because you can transmit even just kissing. Like if you have cavities, or you don't brush your teeth regularly, or you don't floss, you can transmit bacteria just by kissing somebody.
Yeah, like.
So like, be aware of that shit, because
agreed.
Some people be fucking nasty.
And you see with all this, because she like this little piece, she like had more to say to me. So like that, there's a title that goes around, like people will name you things, and like she's been named, like she believes and has been named to have the top riz in the Navy. So fellas, ladies, this is the whole blue and gold, the whole Forged by the Sea. This person, Agent M, is saying to you, top riz in the Navy. That's everyone. That's whatever.
You know, some days I really do feel like I got top riz in the Navy.
That confidence is key.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know what it is. There's just days where you're just walking around, you're just like, yeah. Like, nobody can touch me.
It's deserving for you sometimes. You're never arrogant. So it's like good. I mean, we was in the Philippines. They was calling her the pretty. Oh, what is it, the green-eyed?
No, they call me Pretty Justin Bieber.
Oh, the pretty Justin Bieber. And then I remember going, what the fuck?
Wasn't it one of the girls you were talking to fucking called me Young Paul Walker?
Oh shit, yeah, she did call you that shit. Okay, yeah, that's another one. So that's why
I've gotten a lot of fucking nicknames, including when I was in school. So like when you first get out of boot camp and you go to what we call A school, which is like the school where you get trained for your job. I remember I walked up into that bitch and I had so many people throwing themselves at me, and that's pretty typical because people are pretty horny when they get out of boot camp. Just because, let's be real, 2 to 2.5 months of boot camp, like no nothing. Yeah, that people are gonna be horny. And I remember some of the watchstanders when I walked in with my girl, they were coming up with a bunch of different nicknames. They call me Prince Charming.
Which Prince Charming? Like the one from Shrek?
The one from Cinderella.
With the dude with the white dude with the black hair? Because you got the same cut sometimes as the Prince Charming from Shrek. No, oh no, they don't call you fucking Eric Matthews.
I have been called. No, you called me Eric Matthews once.
You got that vibe. that like not the Eric Matthews when they played him and put him in college and made him fat and weird. Even though there's nothing wrong with being fat, there's something wrong with being weird. Lock in, love yourself. The one from the earlier shows when he was the Fly brother in high school.
Oh, you know what's funny? High school, that reminds me. One of my best friends from high school, she said that I am very, what's the word? She said that I'm very, like, people think that they can run me over and, like, railroad me or whatever, but in a sense of I play into certain dynamics, and people think that I don't know. It's fucking weird.
You like play possum until they get to you, and then you're a lion.
Yeah.
That's dope. You got these friends of yours. A lot of them is really like ahead with the way they be labeling you, because it's like really accurate things. Like low key, like whoever you guys are, it's like you really sit back when she's not around and go, let me really think about what I feel about her. And you guys do great. You come back with great stuff. One of you labeled her Tony Stark ego. That was a fire. That was a.
I forgot about that. Like, she was crazy.
I would have probably been a little tight at first, but then I read the rest of the list. It was really good.
Yeah, there's a list they created to define me around college. I was in college at the point, and yeah, they created a list to define me. They called it Caroline's Blacklist.
That's tough, dude. I'm glad you were able.
But it was a blacklist in a positive way, not a negative way. So, just to specify.
But the first thing she told me was Tony Stark ego. So I thought, damn, they're about to fry her.
I did.
But then it got way better. Then we got what? Did I say Wagoneer?
Womanizer.
Damn. Well, this is rough for you today. Not Womanizer. Okay, fairly.
Have you ever? Okay, how about we put it this way? Have you ever been called a womanizer?
I don't give people the opportunity. So.
Not even like when you were younger, people like, you know the song Womanizer?
Yes.
Like they were singing that song and like they never pointed at you or were joking around?
No, I've gotten I'll smash the windows out your car or sing that. Then I got the I took his kid. I got that. So those two songs have been sang to me and I've been pointed at. The SZA song, I Hate You or something, has been sang and pointed at while drunk. So I guess in a way they're calling me that, or they're really thinking they want to murder me in that moment of poorness.
And when I was going into college, I was a freshman, and this girl that I knew from high school, she was a sophomore in college. And we were at a friend's house one weekend. She came over with me. We were hanging out, kind of being a little flirtatious. And I remember I was sitting back on this couch. I was watching Family Guy because that was like one of the fun things we like to do. And she came over and sat in my lap on the couch, or in this like recliner. And I was not having it. I was so focused on the show. I did not want that. Like, you know how sometimes you're in a zone and you just like, get off of me. I don't want to be touched right now. You know what I mean?
Were you attracted to this person that sat on you?
Not really.
Okay, then I in agreement.
Yeah. So that happened, and she went up to go use the restroom, and she was like, "Leave room for me," and I sprawled out so that she couldn't sit back down. This is fucked up, and I know this is fucked up, but mind you, like, I was 18 at the time, and I was being stupid. I was being a bit of an asshole. I really was, because she called me an asshole after and smacked me, which was valid. That was very valid. You know, I can't be mad at that. But even though we're joking about this stuff and all of it are true stories, we're not that way anymore. Not completely. You know, we're good people.
I mean, and in reality though, like most like girls that we, I guess, know or would date, they always say they don't like a guy that's too accessible. So like we may be labeled a womanizer sometimes, but like not even low key, like from what we've been told by these people, it seems like it's better to be closer to the womanizer than
fuckboy.
Yeah, than at night. Even fuckboy too, low key, because like fuckboys are always still fucking. The nice guy is on the outside of the room listening to the fucking. Like the nice guys, in my experience, low key, not even low key, I gotta stop saying that shit, do finish last. I've seen it a lot. I've been the nice guy where you trying to hit something like, yo, come here, let me get behind that real quick. Next thing you know, because you're the one that said one compliment, you're different. Now, everybody fucked, right? Now, this person likes you and is putting rules. I don't think we should just hook up. I think it's different. It wasn't different.
I also think that womanizer and fuckboy are terms that are just casually thrown around nowadays, and people use it. At least in my experience, people use it in more of a joking sense than they do in a literal sense. At least in the culture nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, because in reality, like everybody's fucking now, especially like most. What is it like? 1 in every 10 females has an OnlyFans now. Everybody's.
That's just crazy. Like I don't understand why so many people just want to hook up and fuck around and stuff like that. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, wouldn't you rather find like a real relationship and someone that you're with, so you know that there's not any problems as long as they're not cheating on you. You know who they've been with because it's just been you. You don't have to worry about catching anything or any of that for the most part. And just a lot of those like stable things, because I feel like being in the military, we have to have some sort of stability in our relationships, and so to kind of just hook up with people and go from person to person to person is just super bad for our mental health, and it's super bad for people's mental health in general, not even just in the military.
You got all that energy on you, like just you shouldn't sleep with just because you find that person attractive. If you got a weird feeling about them, don't hit. Okay, don't, because even if it's not an STD, it could be something spiritual. It could be like this person can genuinely not like you, but wants to sleep with you. You don't want that negative energy on your spirit. Like you might even blow her back out when be like, I'm wilding. She might let you record, go crazy. The next thing you know, you on the news because she said you did something to her, even though it's on film. So like don't line yourself up. Just please don't be a whore. Okay.
Yeah.
Men and women, both of you.
Yes.
Like
there are man whores. There's a lot of man whores, especially. I hate to say this, but there are a lot of man whores in the military.
Yeah, because we get, and myself included, we get what's that shit called, the goggles or whatever, the
tunnel vision.
Now, when you go on deployment, and let's say,
deployment goggles. I know exactly what you're talking about. So deployment goggles are basically, they call it putting on goggles where you're around the same people for so long that people you wouldn't normally see as attractive, you start to see them as attractive purely because you're not really meeting any other people, and they're all that's around you.
That's exactly it. And next thing you know, you fall in love with something, hitting it from the back on you so pretty. You pull into a port, like let's say Singapore, where the style, like the level of living is higher than here. Like the average person is a lot cleaner because of the rules and shit there.
Yeah.
You see this dime, but guess who's attached to you? The person you had the goggles with. You got this ogre on your body now that you're stuck with, because when you was hitting on the ship, you were saying, you so beautiful, this and that. You fucked up, buddy. Lock in. If one of your close friends on deployment tells you have goggles, believe them.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't go, no. Because if you wasn't talking to that individual back home, how did they become attractive in the middle of the sea? You're depressed, okay, out there. Love yourself. Remember who you are. Mufasa said that to Simba in The Lion King.
I don't think I ever got deployment goggles, but I think a big part of that was because of the bonds that I created with a lot of people. And honestly, there weren't a lot of females on board when we were on deployment.
Most of them were lesbians. So like it was basically all guys. Like we all liked the same thing on the boat.
Yeah.
So we couldn't even...
Which is kind of funny because then people are like, well, you're a lesbian. There are other lesbians here. But it's like, not the lesbians that I would want to be with. They were more so mentors than anything else. I never saw them in any other way.
The Golden Girls, I did. 2 of them I did. I was like, I've been that over quick. Like, respectfully. Because you know who you are. So,
respectfully, I'd hit that.
Respectfully, I would have ran through that quickly. But it wouldn't have been goggles. Okay? It would have been, what's up? But one of you is actually a lesbian, though, out of the... Well, in the Golden Girls, there's 2. And then I think one is maybe not.
I feel like there needs to be another word created aside from womanizer, because I feel like there's people that have a good balance between being nice and also being super flirty.
Yeah, that's called Mac.
Really?
Yeah, like you macking. Like the ability to Mac to be smooth, like those compliments, like when people say, I can't, or when people go, I see you, those is people telling you, I see that balance and I see you bagging it. Like womanizer is like,
Because I don't pay attention to a lot of slang. There's a lot of more. They call it brain rot now. Apparently, I don't know half that shit.
brain rot.
Yeah,
That's like a good term.
I guess they call a lot of like this new slang brain
Oh,
rot.
the new slang. No, there's tons of it now. Like I can't even.
There's even like a lot of the old slang. Like I only know certain classic terms like womanizer or cuck, which sounds super. I feel like it sounds super bad. But
Well, I mean, also there is a new term. Well, I knew it for a few years now, but when I first seen it, I didn't understand it because it wasn't spelled the way I thought it would be. But there's a cuck queen. So like, but that's not really fair because every time you cuck queens are always hot. So it's like you're basically forcing yourself into the situation to like feel that kink. But like, yo, for men, they're real life cucks out here. Like that's it's just too different. It's the same thing. Have I messed with Barracks Bunnies? Of course.
I feel like everybody's fucked a Barracks Bunny.
If you haven't, that's cap because there's no way you get out of boot. That means you had sex in boot camp, dude. Because like, there's no way. And don't hit nothing. That doesn't.
Yeah, there are people that have done that, but those are the people that like are more reserved.
Yeah, but like they're like spiritually or something reserved. Like, I'm fruitful and multiply. That's what I'm doing. And no one likes a pillow princess. Okay.
No, there's a difference between a pillow princess and a starfish.
What the fuck? A starfish? That's a butthole reference, right?
No.
Oh.
So a starfish is somebody that like in bed they'll just fucking sprawl out and they're just like fuck me. And then you have pillow princesses, which are kind of like that, but in my view, at least in my experience with pillow princesses, they are not. They do stuff like if they're an active bottom.
I like. I guess I'm gonna name it right now. I like a Wonder Woman. Okay, I like to go in there and it's a battle. Yeah. Like, if I'm in there sweating, coach, we need better plays. If I got to do that, but then I look down and the person I'm banging is just, we have a problem. Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. An active bottom. That's more so what I see as like a pillow princess. They're always a pillow princess. I see them as they're always a bottom, but they're active.
So a bottom is the person that things are happening to.
Yes.
And the top is the like alpha.
Yes.
Okay. I never knew that. I always thought, because I heard like Family Guy made a joke and they were like, my dad asked if you were a bottom or a top. And then Stewie goes, okay, let's move on. Because he's old in the like this part of the skit. And then the little black kid goes, my dad said you're definitely a bottom if you answer that way. And I was like, oh. So I still, okay, so now I know for real. That makes sense.
It's something that you don't think about. And I never thought about it until I had people asking me questions about what it's like to be a lesbian.
And you're going to get them a lot because, like, and there's people that are weird as fuck in the Navy, right? So, like, even though they know her, like, where she stands and who she is, still a straight dude would still try and, like, hook up.
Oh, yeah, I've had it happen 4 times. I've been hit on by guys, and I'm like, you do realize I'm a lesbian. And they're like, yeah, but that can always change. And I'm like, no, that's not going to change.
Especially if they drive. Like, if they are telling you they drive, it's not going to change, my guy. That's weird. Like, what's wrong with you? You low-key want to hook up with it. Like, it's if she's giving masculine energy, what are you saying about yourself?
I think they just want to be the bitch in that situation.
Yeah, a lot of y'all. That's another, I guess, a cuck type vibe. Because, like, y'all be that, you know who you are. Okay, I'm not going to done. But you telling me your girl uses a strap-on you, okay? Keep that stuff to yourself, guys, okay? If I don't know you, you don't, I'm going to judge you, okay? If a girl uses a massive strap-on you, and you ask me, is it gay? As a dude, what do you think I'm going to say to that? You
okay, just... I gotta play the devil's advocate because
God.
No. I know that there's men who, because I have family that's worked in the medical field, so they've seen some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And the male's pleasure center, one of their pleasure centers is in their asshole.
Yep.
So some guys who want that, it does make sense for them to want that, but only with their girl. So yes, I can see the judgment side of things where everybody's gonna judge. Like, you can't say you're not a judgy person. Everybody judges.
I'm talking about
even if you're not vocal about it. Everybody's a judgy person. It's natural. But in that sense,
for example, like, look, real quick, devil's advocate. Your girl's banging your lights out, and she's like, I got a surprise for you. She's in the back. He's getting his shit killed, and then he's randomly like, I'm gonna tell Shilatron this in 2 years for some reason. I don't know why
that's something you keep private.
Then, so she's like, I got a surprise for you. She's fucking him. A trans is behind her. The trans is waiting to go next. That's what I said to him when we spoke about it. If the trans gets behind you, claps your shit, how do you respond if, like, it looks just like your girl, just there was a dick and balls organically? See what I mean? That's what
I see what you mean.
that's like
fair.
You could be mad that it's a trans, but like, low key, you just had a giant strap on from this woman hitting you, and then now this, like, you wouldn't, let's say this trans is like, you can't tell it's a trans if they had clothes on. You only know it's a trans because you see a dick and balls in front of you. That's what I asked them. Were we cool after that? No. Do I care about your personal life? No. But like, you brought it to me randomly. Why didn't you keep it to yourself? So many people.
There's certain things you don't tell people. Like, when it's your best friend, it's one thing to get into some of the nitty gritty, but other times it's kind of weird. And I feel like we're being pretty surface level with some of this stuff. Like, we're just talking general.
Yeah, because we could get really detailed.
Yes, we're being very general, and it's not necessarily, not all of these are exactly like our preferences currently. You know, these are experiences that we've been through in the past, that we've learned from, grown from, and matured from. So that's not always the case. So don't like come at us and be like, oh, hey, you know, y'all are fucking assholes. Like, no, we're not. You know, we don't try to be. If you're gonna have that view of us, cool, go for it. We don't really give a shit. Yeah, but because we know who we are. But yeah, so going off of that, I will say sex playlists. Yay or nay?
Bro, every time. I have 4 on my phone. Pop that.
But like, what's the one song that just gets you in the mood? Like, it depends on, I guess, the type of sex that you're having, right? Whether it's just romantic or if you're just like, I just want to fucking rail you right now.
Ooh, for railing, I need something hyped. But like, one time a girl put on WAP. I didn't think that would be a vibe for me, but then when she started twerking, picked it right up, got behind it, went crazy.
That makes me think of there's a video that was a trend, and the dude was fucking to the beat of the song. You remember that video? Yeah. He wasn't actually like fucking in it, but he was saying that he fucks to the beat of the song, and
yeah, you got. So yeah, I guess it depends on, like, if it's lit. I don't know. You go with yours first. Like, let's say it's hateful at first. Like, you both just had an argument, and
so it's makeup sex.
Yeah, but you're forgiving each other through it. But like, you're basically going through your emotions to start it. So like, you're both fucking pissed, so you start going at it. So you're both angry to start, and you're forgiving each other through it. So like, when you're done, you're good. Like, doesn't even need to be an apology.
So I do have a song for that. I don't remember the name of it right now, but I do have a song. And that shit is fire.
Shit,
there was one girl that I dated that put on Labyrinth.
Labyrinth?
She put on Labyrinth. And I did not think that was going to work, and it did. And then the playlist started going. Have you ever laughed when, like, you're in the middle of foreplay? Because of the song?
Yeah.
Like, there is a moment Which I also think if you can have this moment with somebody and get back into it, like there's a connection there. And I think it's kind of sexy in a way where if you can like laugh in the middle of foreplay, it's just funny.
And then hop back into it.
That's some real shit right there.
Yeah, that shows like how well of a team and how comfortable you are with each other.
Yeah, that was probably one of the funniest moments. There was a song that came on, and I lost it. But I learned from experience that hookup culture is just not healthy for your mental health, especially with the amount of bullshit that we go through on the day-to-day at work. You know, you don't need to add another thing into your personal life to kind of bring you down.
Agreed. But if you're like one of those people that can't like be a loyal person, stay over there in the hookup culture. Like until you work on that, don't come into the positive area fucking things up, cheating, doing all that. Like, stay over there until you're ready to be over here, please, so you can attract the person that also wants to be in a relationship, instead of us people who want to be in relationships attracting the whore for some reason. I don't understand why that always happens. Why a really good person attracts a person that seems like they want this same things, but then all of a sudden a year in, even less. Like,
if you feel like you need to cheat on somebody when you're in a relationship with them, then something's wrong and you need to talk about it before you cheat on them and be like, hey, I am having urges to cheat on you and we need to figure out what's going on. If you don't want to do that, fucking break up with them.
Please, just leave
before you cheat.
You know,
it's I'm making it sound easier than it is, and in a sense it's easy, but for the most part, if you're going to cheat on somebody, break up with them.
Because your life's going to be way worse if you cheat and try to keep this person.
And the whole crying act after, feeling guilty, like, you really expect me to have sympathy for you after you just cheated on me, and then you also go and make it my fault? Right. Fuck no.
Right.
Get the fuck out of my face.
Did you trip and fall on the dick?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Did you fall into the pussy by accident? You didn't. You thought about that shit the whole day. You planned it. Like, come on, stop playing. Like, don't.
If you genuinely love somebody and you genuinely want to be with them, you're not going to cheat. And if you do, there's something wrong. There's something wrong with the relationship. There's maybe something wrong that you're not getting that you want. And you need to communicate.
Because once you mentally fuck somebody up, that's how you create a fuckboy. Like, someone that is now like taking themselves and is going to be like, yo, I'm going to get over on everyone. And it's going to be because you cheated. You're their origin story on how they became a villain. Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader. Okay, you're that progression if you do that to someone. Like, see how Darth Vader is elite, popular. People love that he's evil. Okay, do you want that? Do you want to create that and then complain? Don't, come on.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's all love, and you know, you do you, live and learn. Some people are going to learn the hard way. Some people are going to learn the easy way. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So that is a wrap on episode 3, Barracks Bunny. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any ideas or anything like that for any of our next episodes or anything that you guys want to see, do not hesitate to comment. And yeah, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.